welcome to the GLAC Studios. This is Gomati Sivasankaran. We are in Oil Painting Tutorials Class 10. We have been painting the portrait of a baby girl in the last 9 classes. And for those who have been following and trying to do all these things that we have been learning together, congratulations for your attempt. And I hope that you come along to the finish line. And for those who are tuning in for the first time and wondering what this is, so we have been, this is a short recap of what we have been doing. So this series focuses more onto oil painting portraits, and we have been using one subject as the red thread for us to learn this together. And this is a baby girl, the picture of a baby girl, and this picture can be found in the link that in the description. We have started with the first class discussing some basics about oil painting and the materials. Then we moved on to doing the first layer and then doing the golden ratio to divide the canvas into more meaningful lines for us to place the subject. Then we did the second layer called blocking or filling. After the second layer was done, we moved on to doing more onto the filling, but this one was the third layer was more into finding the right shades or right tonalities that are close to the reality and placing them in dark versus light, long versus short, and so on. We did that, and we are now in the fourth layer. We have already started with the fourth layer where we are doing a bit more of the details. We did discuss along the line the the benefits of doing layer by layer and the challenges, the number of hours that we need to sit in, the physical aspect of how we can place things close to us to make sure that we are comfortable working. The psychological aspect also we discussed in our one of the classes on what happens to our mind when we are sitting here alone with a painting for quite some time, and how do we make sure that we are entertained or much more relaxed and basically enjoying the whole process. So that's what we've been doing. In the fourth layer, when we started out the fourth layer, I think we did the hair portion of the baby girl. And then we left there. We did not do the face. And this is the reason why we did it this way was to learn how to do from dark to light. In the earlier layers, I showed how to mix a lighter tonality and build the lightest of the tonalities and move on to the next darker level tonalities. I also wanted to show the reverse of how to work, and that's why we started with the darkest of the layers. So we tried to do the eyeball, a little bit of the eyebrows, and also the hair. And then we stopped with that. We did not work on the skin tonality at all. And we moved on to doing something lighter. So we will continue doing same this class also. In last class, we did the shirt of the baby girl. So we did the fourth layer and we placed the patterns in her shirt. And we also started working on the toy. And I think it was a learning experience to see how much a small little toy could take. And that's exactly why I chose to keep this toy for our learning, because there's a lot of components. It looks simple. It looks like there are, 6 circles, that's it. But it's not like that. There's a lot of components to it, and we are still working on that. We will continue doing that. Along the line, as a part of the recap, I also want to share with people who are logging in for the first time into this class that while we decided to take this subject as a learning for us to copy, we will try to create our own ideas around and not do 100% copy. And that's also a reason why you see that there is this in the original picture that is shared with you, there is an interior background where the girl is, but over here in this painting we decided to do an external or an outdoor background. So we are imagining some green grass and bright blue sky. That is going to be the change in the background. Though we change the background, we need to keep the red thread, the main logic together. What is that? The lighting aspect. Where is the light coming from? In the picture that we started working on, we saw the light was coming from the baby girl's right hand side, catching light on her right cheek and right nose and so on. So the right side of her nose and so on. So we kept doing that. While we are doing the same, the essence of that logic needs to be running through as a red thread even when we are changing the background. And that's also a reason why we started doing a lightest form of green here, and then a little darker form of green on the other side of the baby girl, and also making sure that her shadow falls, so there's a little darker space. So we did all this in our previous classes. So we are now ready to continue to work on the toy. So the target will be our toy. Let's see if we can finish the toy. Finish meaning finish the fourth layer of the toy. So it might be that we want to do a fifth layer. You never know. Yeah, there is no harm in doing more layers at all. The more layer you do, the more depth you are able to show. But for this part of learning, we will try to stop at a maximum of, we have already reached fourth layer. We will not go beyond fifth or sixth layer. So we try to cover and say that, okay, this is the summary, what we have learned together. But I will always encourage you to do more layers and more depth and more detailing if you can. That's something that you will also pick up. By now you would have seen the logic of layers, so you will also pick up and find some fun in doing the same. Yeah, so let's get on to the activity as such today. So right now, where are we? We did this toy and we started doing the I think we did the blue and then the red circle to a certain extent. We started with the orange ones. We did not do the pink and we did not do the center yellow circle. And there is some glass part that is pending. Interesting. So we will start with, first of all, picking up a right brush. I think I will pick up brush number 1. Yeah, I have that with me. And I think I will start with the yellow first because that's the lightest tone in this. There is one more light tone as such. There is white as well. We could do that. Could we do the white? Yes. Remember in the last class, I showed you as against what I usually instruct, take less of oil. I did give you an idea of using more oil on a white and making it transparent for the fourth layer. We are going to continue doing that. And for that, I'm taking a bit more of oil and using the same white, that is the leftover white. So there's no white at all left here, but I'm using that and I'm trying to see if I can make it a little more transparent. I don't know if you are able to see that there is this, I have loaded this brush with white, with the oil. So the white is more, it's not dripping though. So just watch. It's not dripping. So that's one control point. You want to add more oil and make it transparent, make it more translucent. But at the same time, if it is dripping, you know what is going to happen? It will start dripping around the areas that you're going to paint. So that's one check I would say before even going near the, going near the canvas. So I have checked that, and for now it looks safe for me to try. So I'm going to do this part where it is translucent. I'll do this circle properly, and yeah. So the way I'm covering it, okay, there is something going on near the baby girl's hand. I want to hide that. Okay, I'm just doing it this way to show how it's coming out. And so these lines, as I have explained in the previous class, because of the oil, can be rubbed off to make it transparent or translucent, and you can still see the green behind. So it starts looking like it is something transparent, yeah. And that's what it is, isn't it? On the top of the toy, there is this lid kind of thing, which is apparently a little transparent. It's not fully done. So this gives a feeling that there is something transparent out here. Yeah. And I'm giving this edge. I think I made it much bigger than what it looks like here, but I'm kind of finding fun with it, so that is fine with me. Because it looks, there were some proportions that I did not do right in the beginning. So this is where you see, yeah, I have been continuing that mistake for a while, isn't it? So the blue circle, if you look at it in the picture, has not been that big. So that error is continuing, and I'm trying to do some justice around the line to make it still look good in spite of that error. So it still looks like there is something transparent, and that's what is appearing here. Yeah. I think now we are ready to go to the yellow. I had shown you that I'm using something called a permanent yellow. And you can pick up lemon yellow, whatever yellow that is available in your packet of oil colors. So I'm going for the yellow now to work on that yellow area. Okay, I will keep this brush that I used for white aside because I might need it again. So I'm going to pick up brush number 2 for this yellow part. And this yellow, if I have to do a filling first, let's do the filling first. And I remember while doing the third layer, I made some mistakes. So I have kept that in mind. I could see that also here. So I'm going to fix that. Yellow is translucent, so it will show what is beneath. So for me, right now it is okay. I don't mind. I'm going to do another shade so that I'm not really worried about it. But if you are concerned about this yellow being so translucent and you're losing control, do feel free to mix a little bit of white. For now, I'm just trying to use the brightest yellow because I'm going to give some shadow, the shading, isn't it, that I will do in a short while from now. I'm doing this. I am filling this, and if you are struggling to see this, I will try to put it here to show you what I'm doing. It's even more clear as to what I'm doing. So I'm only using the permanent yellow, lemon yellow, whatever it is. I didn't bother to mix the white because I am going to do some white shades and also some darker shades. I'll show you where the darker shades would arrive. I think you would have guessed by now, but still, let's do that. Okay, so this is how it is. Okay, for the lighter shades, where will the lighter shades go? Obviously, where the light is, and the light is falling from the right side of the baby or our left side. So I am taking a bit more of the white. I have the white. Now the white that I have has got too much of oil. Also be mindful of that. So I am putting the shine here. Blending it around. And I'll stop in this direction, yeah. So the shine goes. I'm blending it in some places and leaving it for it to stay white in some place. So this starts looking more brighter. And now for the duller area, and for this I will go back to leaving this white brush and picking up my brush number 2, which has the yellow. I will go and pick up, depends on how dark you want to show. On the right side, it is slightly dark, isn't it? So I want to pick up a tiny bit of vermilion in my tip of my brush. I don't know if you're able to see. Okay, you're able to see. That is good. I'm using that to, oh, it's already a lot. See, the tiny is a lot. So I'm just trying to blend that in. To make this part look slightly darker than the other side. Why is this darker? The sun is not falling on this side. This is darker. Like that. Should it be this dark? I think I want to lighten it up. I will take a little more of the permanent yellow to shade. And let this line get through. Yes, we did this. Now we have the section of doing the darker part of the yellow, which is beneath, which is touching the grass actually, yeah. So that's a little more darker, and I'll be very cautious to pick up again a tiny bit of maybe brown or black. Be very careful because it turns green also. So you don't want to make it really bad. So I'm just taking tiny bit of that Van Dyke brown I have and trying to make it slightly darker. Not worried because I'll do this pink part, in a short while. So this looks slightly different. When the pink comes and attaches here, you will not see much of it. That's why I'm not worried about this particular area, but I've done this. So this looks slightly darker. We are done with this, and I'm looking at the colors that we picked up. Is there anything we could do with the same colors on her rubber band in her hair? It looks, I don't know, it looks, maybe she's got purple. And I think we did have purple, isn't it? From last class. I don't mind taking that a bit and putting that purple along in her rubber band in the hair. That's where I did it, right here in the hair. And there's one more here. It looks, I don't know, for me, because of the bright feature, it looks in between white and pink. So it doesn't matter. I think we can pick up anything. So I will take, first of all, I'll take a little bit of white to make it lighter, this rubber band here lighter. And the other side of it that we placed, maybe I will take the vermilion a little bit, not too much, and try putting that here. So it looks like there is something. So it's not too much of vermilion, but it gives a feeling that there is something here. Yeah. So I have done that using the colors effectively. Let's go back to the vermilion and see if we have finished the, and this, I did not take the actual vermilion. Remember in last class, I mixed yellow with a light tint of vermilion and I had this orange color that I am picking up again. The reason why I'm taking it again is to do this part again if I wanted to. I wanted it to be dark, but at the same time, I'm checking if I got it right in the last class. Looks like I made some places that could possibly be corrected, so I'm still correcting that. Have I finished it properly? So I did that, okay. And right now, I think it is time for our bright pink. Oh, it's a bright pink color that we will do now. Okay. So I'm just pulling it up and putting this toy in the focus area for you. I'm going to work on the pink. And for the pink, I think I'm going to wipe off my brush. I remember that we took crimson. And to that crimson, we added a slightly bit of vermilion also to get to a brighter color range. I have the crimson left over from the last class, so I'm just trying to use that again. And I'm trying to add the vermilion a little bit to make it brighter. And to that, I think we added white, and now I will have to go and pick up the white. Let me do that. We will need some more of the white for the next step. I will show you. So I'm going to take quite a bit of it. Quite a bit is only this much. That's it. That is quite a bit, according to me. At least in the oil painting world, this is quite a bit. So let's see. I will take some white from here and go back to where I mixed, and I will see. Okay, does it look close to what we had? It does. Maybe it's a little too much of white. Maybe I'll take a little more of this color. I'll need oil. I will not touch upon the clean oil. Like I said, I do keep two metal lids where I am pouring the raw linseed oil. This is a dirty oil, meaning for darker colors or all colory substances that I'm using. The clean oil is for white or very lighter tones. So going back, picking up this oil to mix slightly to get to the tonality and the fluidity that I want. Fair enough. I guess I will use this to do the part that I wanted to do one more time. So it looks like I am doing something similar to blocking on the pink, but I will do some shades and shadows to make it look three-dimensional. So I am filling in the pink Okay, so each and every circle has a darker range coming inside, isn't it? And to create that, luckily I have the purple left over from yesterday's purple rain. So I'm going to use that tiny bit in the tip of my brush to go underneath and blend it along to make it look like there is a circle that is there, and there is this and I will not go over the circle fully because the other side we cannot see, isn't it? So underneath, so I'm doing the same thing here. So it starts to give that feeling of something there. Huh? Okay. So can you see I have not done on this part because this is not visible to our eyes. What you can see is only a part of the sides of the circle holes. That we did. Okay, so those are darker shades of our pink circle. Are there more darker shades? There should be, isn't it? There should be darker shades coming underneath. We cannot see. So I'm doing that. And if this purple is looking too purpley for you, you can always blend. That's also another way to do. You can blend. So I'm going to do this. And I will take a little more of the pink to go underneath and finish these sections properly and blend the purple as well. It starts looking like there is some darker section that is not catching the light, the sunlight. We have that. Now it's the time for the white. This is a very strong color. I don't want to use it directly on this. So I'm going back to the white. I will clean up the white brush because it is a strong color. It's going to catch up immediately. Yellow itself would have mixed a little bit, but right now with the pink, there is a chance. Okay, for lessening the confusion, I have put down brush number 2, which had the pink. I am back with brush number 1, which has the white. Okay, I'm going here. If it looks too whitey, don't worry. We are going to blend. And I'm just showing in this directions where possibly shiny. So when you blend, start seeing that it's okay. You can use the finger to blend, like what I do. I love this. No matter what brush you give me, ultimately I always go back to my finger to blend. So I did this. And I'm looking at the pink area. Again, I'm switching the brush back to the pink because I can see that this particular section has to end here, and that's why we left the space. We left the space like this, so it could finish. So I'm doing that. Okay, so I have done that, and now I go back to the lighter brush, which I had white on. I'll wipe it off because I can see that the yellow underneath needs to be, it's not so clear. There is some slight black or brown line that you could give. to make it bit more darker. And I used only the tip of my brush number 1. So I am cleaning up because it's a little more than what I need, and then I'm blending it in again. To make this look bit more darker. And if I have lost the yellow, which I feel I have, I'm wiping off the brush to pick up tiny bit of yellow again to do this, blend this. So here we have, okay, the yellow is also done. The brown that we picked up can be used again in another place. So I'm again taking only a tiny bit in the tip of my brush number 1, seeing this spot where there is this depth because of the glass or the plastic, transparent plastic that is coming out of it. So I'm building that. Okay. I think it looks fair enough for now, and I will come back to the toy again one more time when we are in the 5th layer to see if there is any need for tiny adjustments, because in contrast with what we would have done in the background, we might need some more adjustments. You never know. So be mentally prepared for that. There's one more thing I can do. I'm wiping off the brush. I just wiped off the brush to pick up a bit more of the yellow to do those nice circles that that we saw in the yellow ring. So they are yellow, but they are different. So I'm going to do that, and it will not show prominently now, but I will in a short while show you how to make it pop out. So I'm putting basically yellow dots on the yellow plane, which is not visible clearly now. Okay. Okay, I've done that. I'll go back to wiping off the brush. I'm still using brush number 1, and I was taking a tiny bit of the yellow, or the brown. And remember what we did with this slight brownie image that we gave, the effect that we gave to show the plastic, transparent plastic popping out. We use the same technique around the circles to give a feel, not fully doing the circles, but give a feel of there is something popping out. So, and not fully, don't do the full circle, half the circle maybe. And remember which half? The half that is the opposite of where the light is. So this is where one can see that there is something. So beginning to see that there is a light circle. Okay. That we did. That's a good learning, isn't it? Good enough. We stop the 4th layer on the toy here. Or, okay, sorry, we do not stop. There's one more thing that I noticed. This yellow tube-like sort of, or whatever animal that is. It's so pretty. Yeah. There is one nice little element here. And he goes up to the edge, but he has some kind of neck formed out of brown color and eyes and whatnot. So it looks like an animal. So pretty one. Let's do that. You get that? So next time you're thinking of working on a children's toy, think over. That itself could be a challenge. I'm wiping off the brush to pick up. I want to have the brown or the black, whatever works for you, to make the eyes. So we are actually looking upside down. Just imagine where the eyes will be. So I'm just putting up the dots. Where the eyes will be, the smiley. There's some pink also, huh? I did that, the smile, and then the section where it pops out the lines. I've done that. And these purple dots that we made, it looks like something coming out of the head of this pretty animal, whatever that is. So I'm also doing that. I'm not worried about the color too much, so I'm just pulling up the purple so it's mixing with the yellow and giving another effect. And I noticed that there are some orange circles. We did the blue already. We missed the orange circle, so which means I'm going to take some vermilion. I wiped off the brush and I'm picking up the vermilion to do a little more of those circles. And yeah. Do we need to do the same underneath? Oh yeah. I think there is one more here. One more here. So I've done that. Oh. This is how it looks for now, the toy. Now I understand. The blue are actually the wings of this animal. It took me a while. I'm not so proficient with children toy. So I'm still learning. We will use the blue from what we did in the last class. We don't need that much because we want to mix it with white if we need to. It's going to be dark. So I'm taking the blue and making the wing sort of a thing. And I will take a slight bit of white to lighten it up because it looks darker. So now I understood that it's a wing and I've made it look like a wing. Enough, I think, yes. And now we come to the part where we work on the background. And remember, I had put some spots to place some white flowers that I wanted to do. So that's what I'm going to focus on. I have wiped off my brush number 1 clean to take some lumps of white only on the tip of my brush. So if you see what I have done, it's That's how the tip of the brush is looking. Always you need to have this metal clean. If you're already loading, then there is some more practice you need to make sure that you do not load this section with oil colors. If you have loaded, wash and clean and come back to the canvas, because what could happen is that if you have too much, it might settle down somewhere, and that you do not want really. So I'm going to look at the places where it's closer to us as in viewers. So this is a spot where I put a couple of flower spaces. So I'm going to make tiny images of a flower that is it's got 3 petals or something, because those flowers that I see in here on the grass are not too big. I'm doing that. So I'm doing this level of detail on the flowers that is close to us, which is even closer to the baby or to the front rather. So this is the detail, versus I want to show you how I will approach the dot that I made on the top of, so this is not the top, but it is, we want to show horizon, isn't it? We want to show distance. So you cannot see that detail. So it's basically going to be a dot. That's it. Yeah. So it's going to be a dot. Like this one here, and I'm putting a dot here, putting a dot there. That's it, not this detail. Can you see when you come to a distance, you cannot see, you can see only a slight spot of white. That's it. That's the flower detail that you get to see from a distance, So you want to show that distance, and that's exactly why we're doing the spots there and going to work on. So now we do not need this and the help of this picture, because this is coming from imagination. You can choose to do other color flowers or some other details if you would love to do it that way. It's your wish. The reason why I chose a white flower was that, it's something common in the grass around here in Denmark. You can see that one. And another thing is, I don't want, even if I want to show colors, I think we did a high level of contrast of colors in this toy, isn't it? That itself is too attractive. I think we have created a subject out of it in the process of learning. I do not want one more character that is stronger in this picture. So I would rather stick to a simple white flower, not too much. So if you see, I'm just trying to build on the dot a little bigger when it comes to where it is, coming closer to us. So if you see from compared to the dot, this is a little bigger, this is a little bigger, and it gets a little more bigger maybe. You can see a little more of what it is. I'll do a couple here, and over here, this is almost close to us, isn't it? So I want to use the clear detailing. To make it look more accessible to you. And even near her, remember we put some flowers? Do we have that? Do not worry about the shading yet. I will come to it. No problem. We will come to that. So we did the flowers. And I remember I wanted to place a flower inside this. I like this idea. So this is a plastic element. This is not related to nature, but I want to build nature inside that, and that's also why I wanted something close. So I'm doing that, and I've got one more here that is a little more detailed. I'm doing the same thing, only the tip of it is having white, and this time I'm not even touching a bit of the oil. So it's without oil. So I did the detail here. This is not going to be a detail, not too much, not too. This is a small dot again, a small dot there. And I'm not bothering whether the dot is like, perfect circle or something. Just trying to have, a little bigger dot when it comes to a little closer. This one is okay, a little bigger maybe. This is a bigger one. Okay, 2 more dots to go. This one is a little more detailed. This one, of course, is very close to us. Again, we have shown the distance. Remember, we need to do the sides also. It doesn't really look fit if we have not touched the sides. Oh, it already looks so pretty, only with a white. And we have made some flowers. I'm going to do the same thing, slight dot here, maybe another dot here, and then making a bigger flower on the side. So this looks like it's in tandem with, can you see? It's in tandem with what we have done. Can we do the same thing on the other side? This is why I say, working on even the details, when we do that here on the sides, it starts looking so pretty. You wouldn't want to buy a frame. I'm going to put one more bigger. Okay, I think I am done with the flowers. The next thing that we are going to start with is going to be the next thing we will start with is going to be the grasses, isn't it? And that will not require much of detail because we will do something suggestive. So there's a way we will show suggestive things, and we will also do the shades on the flowers. You're wondering, okay, it's already a dot and you already want a shade. That's going to be a little bit of a challenge, but we will arrive there. We have done the toy. We have succeeded with the toy. So we'll arrive there. We'll do that. But just before I close, I want to do one more thing. And this is something I do it personally. Okay. I start preparing this side of the canvas for my signature. And by the word preparation, what I mean is that this is the way I sign, and I sign using my left hand thumb impression on the corner, or the place where I want to start with my first letter G. So on the left hand thumb impression, on top of it, when it dries, I will go ahead and use the small brush to write G. So it's a hard signature actually to work on, but I have created that for myself, so I'm going to do that. And I usually do it in a very different color so that it pops out. So I'm going to pick up, so I'm taking my thumb, and I think I will pick up this orange that I made. There is some, so I'm just going to take my thumb and fill this in with the color. This is what I will do. And I will place it. It will look a little odd for now, but don't worry. This is, like I said, it's my style. You don't need to follow this. I have placed my thumb impression here and left it. So this will dry, and when it dries, on top of this, I will be able to write the letter G and fill in the whole detail of my name and the city where I come from, and the date, whatever that I used to sign. So this is how I am signing off. Okay, so I'm preparing the canvas for signing off process as well. Even signing off, I have created layers. So this is the first layer of my sign off, or the fourth layer on top of this canvas. And the next layer on top of it will be my first letter of the name. That's how I do it. So I have done this. Okay, so let's now summarize what we did in this class today. Okay, so we are continuing with the fourth layer of oil painting on top of this 40 by 40 centimeter canvas. We had completed certain things in the last class 9, but we didn't fully complete the sections of the toy, and we still have some more areas to go with the fourth layer. But we continued to do the toy. I think we finished fairly well with the elements of the toy, trying to understand the components of the toy and building in on that. Once we finished the toy, we also started doing some distance logic, applying the distance logic when we started placing the flowers, the white flowers on the terrain or the grass space. So we have done that. And I also showed you the layering technique that I use to sign my canvases once I am done. Signature is something very important. A lot of people think that, okay, we have copied somebody else's work. Why should I sign? Or I am still at an amateur stage. Why should I sign? So there's so many reasons you could say, why should I sign? I would say, why not? First, doesn't matter what stage you are. It is your effort. Doesn't matter that you have copied from someone, as long as you are saying that it's a copy. We are not hiding this. We have taken the original picture, so we know that we are copying, and then the level of things that we are copying for the purpose of learning. And we are also applying our own logic, not fully copying. So there's a lot of justice that we are doing. I think we need to do justice to ourselves first and say, put down your name, write your name. If you do not feel like doing all the detailing that I do for signing, okay, fine, just put a short initial. I insist on every single child that is working with me to sign. Even in the kindergarten level, when they are having summer camps with me, they learn to color a paper with crayons or with with pens, color pencils, and after coloring, I ask them to write their names. Okay, because it's their work, isn't it? It's their effort. So do not feel guilty or awkward about signing. It is your canvas. It is your own space. Sign first, own it. There is again a psychological aspect to it, because the moment you start owning it, you are a little more responsible towards it. And with every picture, the responsibility continues and you will learn more. So that is the importance of signature that I wanted to say before we close. Thank you very much for the session today, and I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, please do share your comments. If you have done something this far, congratulations on this achievement. Please do share your pictures and also share your queries. The questions are more important. That's how we learn. So do share that as well. And I look forward to seeing you all again in class number 11. In class number 11, we will continue doing some more details on the grass. It might look simple like this, it's a toy. So it's that simple. We will have some logic again of, distance, to show distance versus the shadows. So there's a vertical component, there's a horizontal component on the grass that we will do. And then once we are done with that, we will also move back into the skin texture, the baby girl's skin texture, and the spaces that we did not complete. So we will do that. So there's quite a bit to do for us to complete even the layer 4. Thank you so much for sticking around. Bye bye.